Okay, so we're going to do something different here. I'm actually going to make an attempt at a carrier landing. I've been trying to do carrier landings for ages. Usually what I like to do is get you to watch me make mistakes and learn from my mistakes, and you'll probably do the same thing in this, because that's generally how I roll, is to do it wrong. So, yeah, I'm actually going to try and give you some kind of an introduction on how to do carrier landings, because carrier landings are very complex. I can land on a carrier if I'm not doing the process or the whole procedure. So come with me on this adventure. Let's go. What we're going to do is we're going to active pause, which I've only just figured out what that is. Yay. And we're going to set everything up. So hopefully by this time you will have everything ready to go. You would have radioed in, so the carrier's got the lights on, all that kind of fancy stuff. What I like to do is put the HSI on the left and get rid of the radar, and we put the FCS on the right one. This, I don't know why, because people are watching this and what's going on apparently, but I don't know because I'm not at that level yet, so I have no idea. So there's a couple of things you need to know to begin with. The radio station for the carrier, so you can call inbound. You'll need to know the TACAN, which for the Stennis on this mission, we need to switch it on, is 74X. We've already got X marked. And we need ILS, which is now on, and channel 11, enter. Very good. Okay, what I like to do is put the scale down to 5, because this will give you some kind of an idea of distances, because around about the procedures generally happen within 5 nautical miles of the carrier, so it's easier to measure when you're actually, looking down at, 5 nautical miles. Anyway, I digress. You want to put your altitude to radar instead of barometric, because above sea level you really need to know where you are, and you need to stick your radar at about 32 feet, which I don't know, might be around there. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, ish. We'll go with that. So your flaps should already be up. Everything should be ready to go. So what we want to do is break deck, which is 2,000 feet, when we come into land, when we're entering the pattern. So we're not entering the pattern in any kind of proper form at the moment. We're just going to start the pattern from here. On the approach, you should have your hook down as you go past the carrier. We're going to go past the carrier with it just to our left, so we can check the deck out the left window, make sure everything's clear. Then you'll have your hook down. You should be at 800 feet, and you should be going 350 knots. Alright? So let's go from there. Now, one thing I did learn though is you have the BRC, which is basically the course of your carrier. We'll switch TACAN and ILS to on so we can see it on the screen. Now if you're not sure what ILS is, I should probably just quickly run by it. So ILS is a guide to the glide slope, and ILS is different on the Hornets than it is on the other aircraft in DCS. This one has a specific ILS for the carrier. It doesn't work on other fields, unfortunately, and I don't think the other aircraft's ILS work on carriers. So this is the vertical line. You'll also see another horizontal line go down as we pass, and this is basically the crosshair that you're aiming for. So what I learned, while I digress, is that you have a BRC on the carrier, which is the heading of the carrier. This particular mission, it's pretty much north, magnetic north. So this is the direction the carrier is traveling in, and the catapult, runway, landing, whatever, that has an offset of -9 degrees. So if we want to know which direction the carrier is pointing in, the runway, you need to -9 from that, and that's where you get the bearing for the runway. So we're just going to leave this as it is. Alright, now refresh. 350 knots, 800 feet, and we're going to go for it. Alright. and we want to pass just right of the carrier, and we're just going to fly around like a complete nong until we try and do it properly. Alright, now there is a difference between radar and barometric. So radar is more accurate in this instance, so you'd want to have your radar on. And we're just going to try and get as close to the carrier as possible. I'm going to slow down a little bit. And you just see the horizontal line pop up for the ILS at the moment, giving you the glide slope. Alright, so 351, is that going to hold? We're at 800 feet. 350, 49, we're kind of decelerating just a little bit, so I'll put a smidge on. So what we're going to do, when we pass the carrier, we're going to check the deck. We're also going to put the hook down on the upwind leg, which is this. We're going to make sure that we're lined up properly. So as you can see, the glide slope's just dropping because we should be dropping if we want to land on the deck there. We're going to have about 10 to 15 seconds of separation. When we count that, when we get to the end of that, we're just going to drop throttle and brake left. So that's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, drop throttle, brake left at about, oh, that's 5 Gs. You want to do a 3.5 G turn and then gradually bring it out slowly, trying to stay at 800 feet. This is very difficult, to be honest. So you should be at 1% of your Gs, or your Gs should be 1% of what your speed is, and you want to try and stay at around 800 feet while you do it, which is also extremely difficult. Gear down, flaps out when you're below 250. Sort out your AOA. Hooks down. Just make sure everything's all sorted there. Now this is quite difficult because you kind of have to power up and sort out your AOA so you don't drop too much. Now this is the bit where I've got holes in my knowledge. I don't know at what height we should be exiting, and when you see the round down you should be doing the turn. So from my understanding we do it about 30 odd degrees, 37 odd degrees worth of turn, as well as having the velocity vector just below the horizon there, so we're dropping at about 300 feet per minute. I think we're a little high, so we're just going to try and drop a little bit more. So we're at 750 feet. I think we need to come out somewhere at about 450 feet, and we're not supposed to look until you're past the wake or well past the halfway point. So at this point we'll call the ball. I see the ball, and we're just going to try and, we're a little bit to the right of this, so we're just going to try and power up. Definitely too high. Definitely too high. Ball, yeah, very good. And you'll be scanning, I think, the ball, your velocity vector, and all that kind of fancy stuff. By fancy stuff, I mean, oh my god, don't talk to me, I'm trying to concentrate. Little high, little high, little high, little low, little low, little low. Throttle on. And we caught the hook, and I'm quite impressed with that. That was pretty good. I like that. So throttle down, hook up. We want to leave this area as fast as possible, so wings up, master caution off. Now I'm pretty sure I've missed some stuff, but you know what, I'm happy with that. That's probably the best I'm going to do. And we're just going to park over here where there is no parking. Nose wheel high. I said nose wheel high. I said nose wheel. Thus concludes this tutorial.